You know you can't. It doesn't really matter. I blew it off on purpose. Well, I changed, so I don't have to worry about it. Sorry, still gonna be good. Well, I still can do stuff. I mean, I make a phone call to him. I wonder if he's going, today. I haven't talked to him in a few days. It doesn't really matter. I get scrapped anyways, which usually happens to me, which I'm used to it. Especially when I cancel them. So yeah, I'm not waiting over an hour. I hate to want to cook this pizza I'm cooking. So yeah, I said screw it. So we're gonna watch other truckers read questions, that sort of thing. That's all we're gonna do right now because plans of mine got scrapped. Which who cares? This is plan B is stay home and do nothing. Which I'm doing plan B. Reschedule? Nope, I'm not doing a reschedule. I'm not gonna reschedule. I'm not even gonna try again. Plan A sucked, so I'm gonna do plan A flopped. So plan B. Plan A failed, so I'm gonna do plan B. We'll just stay home and do a video for you guys. If I have to, I'll hop on the VR. So I'll do the VR thing off camera like I did last time. The same time this has happened, so I'm gonna do a VR. I'll do some VR off camera later and do a VR. Do VR. What? Yeah, let's do VR. VR is just fun. Which VR do a VR off camera, which I don't know why you like doing VR off camera. When you're in VR, no one knows who you are. You'll use your name, and they don't know who you are. And that's the time you actually feel happy and alive as you're in VR. Last time you did VR. Yeah. More than 700 kilos. So what you do? I'm just gonna make a making a special pizza bar over at store A, and that's it. Suddenly, out of the scrub. Oh, camels. In Perth, Dion Fisher is stranded. The underside of his trailer has hit the workshop door frame. With millions of dollars at stake, more delays are the last thing he needs. His team needs to get him free fast. Finally out of the workshop, the pressure falls on the Slim. It's his job to steer Dion's rear trailer, or Jinka, to get the 40-metre load around tight city streets.
The Jinka driver's on the ground at all times. The truck goes quite wide around the corners.
Feel better. Help me out. Feel better.
The Jinka driver, he's just got to compensate for length.
I know I think there's something wrong. There is something wrong. Don't worry, I'll fix it myself. There's no problem. I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry, I'm fine.
Slim can't afford a single error.
Don't worry, I'm fine.
1 kilometre takes nearly an hour. Up ahead, the roads are closed to make way for the massive trucks. But something is refusing to get out of the way.
All of the signs are trying to come out.
With this one not budging, it's down to Slim to get Dion around it.
Get back to big line. That's right.
I think we're gonna miss it. How are we gonna get Dylan?
You little rat. I'm trying to watch TV here. Hey, we're gonna watch Jeff Brooks. We're gonna watch Jeff Brooks instead. I'll finish this later. So, you happy? Because I'm happy now. You have to throw about anything, do you? Nope. I just want to make some dinner. Make some lunch, which I'm doing that right now. Take about an hour to make by the big oven, so I'm using the little oven we have in the kitchen. And see if that works. Hey, we're just gonna stay on here and just stay on for a while, do whatever we want. I mean, I don't have a name for this video because I don't need one.
There's nothing holding your growth.
So yeah,
Sometimes points on select business purchases and access to over $3,500 in business and travel value annually. There's nothing like Business Platinum.
yuck! I hate diet cherry Coke. That sounds gross. Diet cherry Coke, yuck. Cherry Cola, yuck. Diet cherry Cola, yuck.
$1,000 first-class flight turned into one of our most disappointing travel experiences. But with a massive suite, fine dining, and a gigantic screen, how could we possibly have any regrets? Well, let's explain.
Hello, Jet Setters. I'm Jeb Brooks from greenergrass.com. This is ANA First Class, and you're coming along.
You see, we woke up in Tokyo at 6 this morning to an unexpected email. Our flight to New York on...
I'm just stay on YouTube all day and do YouTube work. My powers on that deep Detroit style pizza you bought.
Japan Airlines was canceled. We booked first class on the new A350, one of the best first class products in the world, a flight we've been wanting to try for years. We rushed to the airport to find out more. While waiting in JAL's beautiful and exclusive private first class check-in lounge, we learned there were no first class seats to the US in the next week. They had rebooked us on a different flight to New York. It's leaving in just 3 hours. We gotta move.
They've rebooked us on ANA. Now we got to hop on the monorail and make our way home.
From Tokyo to New York in first class on ANA or JAL costs $15,000, but we paid a lot less than that, and we'll tell you how in a bit. But in this moment, all of our careful planning just seemed wasted.
It's all for nothing. Sorry, guys.
We took our
So, guys, we're gonna be on here for a little bit. We're gonna have some fun. And that's about it. We're gonna be on all day. My plans got scrubbed, so yeah.
We don't really know where check-in is. We don't know where our seats are. This is an adventure.
We had no idea why our flight canceled. No one from JAL mentioned any reason for it, but we weren't ready to let it go yet. So
H&D
sleuthing in the lounge. While efficient and perfectly pleasant, ANA's check-in area is a letdown after seeing what JAL offered.
And that's check-in, security, and immigration complete. Now we found out our seats, and they're still first class, so amazing, of course. But we're not even next to each other. We're in the middle, no window. This will be a little disorienting for me, at least. I've never not had a window on a flight this long. But for now, let's head upstairs to the lounge and enjoy all that ANA has to offer there.
The lounge is obviously quite nice, but also very busy. It didn't have the serene and exclusive atmosphere of other first-class lounges we've been lucky enough to try. We made our way downstairs to the restaurant, but couldn't help but wonder what was going on in the JAL first-class lounge. We've been looking forward to trying their sushi restaurant, but breakfast with ANA, that'll be great too.
We're starting with coffee, but don't worry, champagne is coming soon.
Suzanne had the fluffiest pancake we've ever seen, and I chose to have a delicious omelet.
Yeah, I'll stay in the U.S. Yeah, too much to worry about, so yeah. See here. Get a few more books. Read them on the channel. Make a few more videos. Let's check out 100 books a week. What, baby?
What? Since when are you an eggs and ketchup guy?
Since about 3 or 4 days ago.
Even better than the food, though, were the views of the action out on the ramp. Also, it might sound like we're complaining about this last minute change, but that's truly not the case at all. In fact, we're extremely
Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to take a look at my pizza. It's not done yet.
Grateful to have this experience, but we are feeling disappointed after missing out on a bucket list trip we've been planning for so long. How about you? How would you feel about a last minute cheese like this one? Let us know in the comments below.
I already had that happen to me.
After breakfast, we headed back upstairs where we discovered even more amenities. There's a buffet here with a rice serving robot. You'll also find self-service drinks. Quiet spaces where passengers can nap. Of course, there's plenty of seating, along with a beautiful bar where they're happy to whip up just about any cocktail for you. We decided to toast our journey with champagne and turn our attention back to that cancellation. The only information we got from JAL was that it was due to aircraft rotation, but being experienced aviation detectives, we investigated further.
We still don't know why our flight canceled, but we do see this plane headed to London yesterday, diverted to Keflavik. Maybe that's it?
It turns out JAL sent a spare A350 to Iceland in order to ferry those passengers on that flight to London, and that meant there was no plane for us to take to New York, which is in fact why we're on ANA today. And look, we're grateful that we're still able to get back home today despite this disruption. Plus, we get to find out whether ANA can deliver the first class we're expecting. We decided to head back to the restaurant so Suzanne could prepare for the flight.
Now, I'm a bit of a basic eater, and the onboard menu has me a little nervous. There's a lot of veal on it, so I'm gonna have a little snack here before the flight.
That was a beautiful lounge. The food was incredible. The views, well, they were phenomenal. It wasn't as exclusive as, say, the Singapore Airlines Suites Lounge or even the first class terminal in Frankfurt. Frequent flyers also had access, and it seemed like that was most of the people in the lounge. Here it is, the 7-year-old 777 that'll take us over to New York today.
Boarding time for our flight is only 30 minutes before departure. Do you think they're going to board this 777 in 30 minutes? Could never imagine that in the U.S.
We'll find out in a few minutes, but first,
I want to take a moment to say thank you to Max Rewards for sponsoring today's video. They're an app that helps you determine when you have enough miles and points to book a trip like this. And let's face it, an international first-class flight is the ultimate miles and points redemption. Because of the app's rewards dashboard, you have total travel potential at all times. Booking might require pulling currencies from different issuers, and Max Rewards puts them all in one place. So you
So it doesn't really matter. I did the right thing.
In other words, you always know if you have enough points and miles for a trip before you even start looking. Also, thanks to the app's benefits tracker, I no longer pay for things my credit cards cover. You see, Max Rewards consolidates all those benefits into one place by card. So, for example, I no longer pay for baggage protection or travel insurance because I already have that coverage. And with auto activation of offers, it finds money I didn't even know I had. Credit cards have tons of offers that are associated with them, but most people never activate them because you have to log into each issuer separately and navigate through and find the right spot. But with Max Rewards Gold, it does it all automatically across American Express, Chase, Citi, and others. Head to the website below and use code JAM to get 25% off Max Rewards Gold plus a 7-day free trial. It's time to board this bird. Next stop, New York.
and stepping into first class means a jet bridge reserved for just the 8 of us. I promise this is the last time I'll mention JAL, but the flight we plan to take has only 6 first-class seats that are more like sofas than seats. In fact, it's the suite that we were most excited about, but that's not meant to be, at least for now. It was at this point that we put JAL out of our minds and prepared for an incredible flight.
Hey guys, we're fine guys. We're just gonna do this today. We're gonna have lunch in a little bit. I'm making something new to a pizza I bought over at Aldi's. I'm gonna try it and see how it is. It's a deep dish, so we're gonna try it.
There's lots of storage here.
So we'll see how it tastes.
Because there are also lots of amenities to explore.
So we'll see how that works out. Might do some writing in a little bit, but I also might do some writing too. So yeah, might do some writing as well. So let's see how it works out.
This is the biggest screen we've ever seen in the sky, and it's also pretty far away, so it can be easily controlled from this remote.
A PSP. So which plans are? Maybe got plans. Maybe go out tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe go out tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see if we can go out tomorrow and do some stuff tomorrow. The plan was going to go to the bookstore, but
I was working on one greasy pan. I went to get a scraper, and that's why I switched to Dawn Pro. It cuts through tough commercial grease and easily rinses away. Dawn Pro, the better.
I hate my life. Tell your life's okay, isn't it? I would like to go to Tokyo, but we can't fish.
Extend summer fun at Toyota's national sales event with a new Camry, RAV4, Grand Hybrid, Mitsubishi Tundra, CHR, Corolla Hybrid, 4Runner.
Get a 26 Grand Islander with 5.99 APR financing or lease this hybrid for $489 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Meanwhile, up in her seat, 1G, Suzanne settled in too. She hung her sweater up in the suite's closet.
Oh, that's neat.
But it's also full of plenty of content to entertain us for today's 12-hour flight. But the best feature has to be the camera system. This is great, especially since I don't have a window. And of course they could board a 777 in 30 minutes. We taxied out to the runway and took to the sky right on time.
That's gonna be kind of hard though. Going from Japan to New York, the time changes have to screw you up.
Keeping the noise out. We also received vouchers for Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, it just wasn't very fast. Now, one of the best parts of first class is the size of the tray tables. They're massive, and that means you can really spread out. But first things first, let's check out the amenity kit. It's filled with the basics, but I was really impressed to see this folding bag.
Can you be a YouTuber?
Beautiful
Son?
traditional
Oh,
fur sheet.
I do pretty good at YouTube. I mean, I do got plans though. Maybe tomorrow go to the library. Maybe tomorrow go to the.
Menu with a wine list to peruse. So let's get into it. The good news, Suzanne's gonna be able to sit across from me right here. We
And for lunch, we had our choice of Japanese or Western food. But before I could even decide, Suzanne joined me.
This has to be the most massive TV screen on plane we've ever seen. Let's measure it. 42 inches. Massive.
The size of my TV at home. Okay, my TV in the living room is 32. The TV in the living room is 42 inches, which is big enough for us.
Though Suzanne is making a sacrifice. This is not her first choice, but she really wanted to be able to show you both meals. And they both begin the same way. And each of these bites was delicious. But the highlight by far was the A&A original nut and chili pie stick.
Okay, that's really good. Hear me out. It's not Singapore's satay, but it's definitely distinctive and really good. And I'm gonna crave that.
What should do? What should use a bio guy? It didn't turn out the way I thought it would turn out, but I never had deep dish before, and I don't deep dish doesn't look like that.
For sure. Now, the Japanese menu is extensive. There's a lot to take in here. The Western one is a little more straightforward. The flavors you'll encounter in many Japanese dishes are delicate. This was no exception. But the plating and presentation are really what stand out to us here. Each morsel is an individual work of art. I chose the duck for my appetizer. This is more food than you'll get as a main course on many other airlines. I had a glass of the South Australian Shiraz. Suzanne opted for the Electric Blue A&A Original Mocktail, a Wah Citrus Blue.
Maybe one of the best parts about being able to share this with you is share our meals too. Suzanne doesn't want her meal, but I do. Her loss. I'm game.
By the way, the onboard service was impeccable. Some of the best we've ever seen. The way they presented lunch for both of us felt an in-flight experience. My corn soup was quite mild compared to Suzanne's pike conger soup. Don't make the mistake of Googling a pike conger. Suzanne did, and it's not a very friendly-looking fish. Thankfully, your next course was a little more appealing.
This tuna looks amazing, but I don't do tentacles. Just don't do it.
This Wagyu steak was phenomenal. It was not only huge, but also prepared very nicely. I wish all airline steaks could be this good. Suzanne's main course is a true reflection of the impressive catering ANA offers in first class. There is a lot here.
I hate my life to a
And
point.
finally, it's time for dessert.
Oh no. It doesn't matter. I'm having fun right now, so I'm just gonna have fun eating this new pizza I've ordered, and that's it.
Behind the carpet, I'm sorry to say, had to stay on board. The pajamas, they're coming home.
It's time for the ANA first class pajama score. Now these are really substantial. They don't feel like throwaway pajamas. They could be lingerie really. I really like the material. They're a little big. They only had one size, I guess. But I could see myself wearing these again. They'll be coming home with me. They're gonna earn a 5 out of 5 for the quality. Really nice.
The lavatory was spotless throughout the flight and even has actual towels to dry your hands. There's also a platform to fold down and stand on when changing clothes. I'm with Suzanne. These are great. You can wear these anytime, but in real life, I'm going to take these home and actually use them. That's a first. These are almost as good as the Amtrak tracksuit. My seat has been transformed into bed mode. I slip my street clothes into the closet before settling into this tremendous space.
And we are in bed. The flight attendants are, of course, happy to set these up for you. And talk about impressive. No restriction at the shoulders, no restriction at the feet. Like that's certainly what first class is all about. Like you've got all the space you can possibly imagine here. Of course, the door also shuts, so you can have your own private space in here. That's great. My only criticism, one pillow. It seems surprising for first class. Even in business class, you can often find 2. So that's a little strange, but I'm going to settle in, watch the rest of this movie, and continue the journey to New York. That was actually really good. Despite having only one pillow, I was asleep for maybe 4 hours or so. I think it's time for the mid-flight snack.
You see, it's possible to order whatever you want anytime you want it. So while I savored my ramen, Suzanne was ready for a Western option and opted for the beef hamburger, tomato sauce, and french fries. A few more hours later, and it was time for breakfast. There were no choices this time, but the mozzarella and pancetta omelet was the perfect finale to this flight. This is as good a time as any to talk about price. A one-way ticket from Tokyo to New York in first class on either ANA or JAL costs $15,000, but we didn't pay that. Instead, we booked our ticket starting in Seoul with an overnight layover in Tokyo, then on to New York the following day. This dropped the price to around $6,000. And before we touch down, it's time for the Jeb score. First, the lounge has everything you could possibly want, but still doesn't feel quite as exclusive as other first-class lounges, so it earns 4 stars. The seat is impressive, but not as luxurious as other newer first class suites. Plus, only one pillow? 4 stars here. The food was remarkable. Some of it was a bit more adventurous than either of us would normally choose, but that's a large part of the fun here. Plus, this was some of the most beautifully presented food on any airline. 5 stars here. Now, the size of the screen alone puts the IFE in a category of its own, but with slow Wi-Fi, it only earns 4 stars. The service was amazing. The crew were friendly and accommodating, supremely professional, and seemed genuinely excited to share this experience with us. They were aware of our job disruption and really tried to make it up to us by going above and beyond. 5 stars to them. So, although this was not the experience we expected or signed up for, we left this ANA flight impressed with its well-deserved.
There's arriving at the airport, and then there's finding a moment away from it. With that, start your journey in comfort.
Okay, let's Jeb Brooks. Now we're going to Outback Truckers. So what do I do? I'll see about tomorrow. I can do what I really want to do tomorrow. I can start doing the books. I must do the books tonight, yeah.
Getting back to the capital, Corey Chapman is back at the road. His next stop is hard to miss. Anna Creek is the biggest working cattle station in the world. At 6 million acres, it's larger than the country of Israel. Corey wants to make his delivery as quickly as he can.
6 million acres.
His next stop won't be so easy to find. Somewhere on this massive station are a team of dam builders who are running out of fuel.
Busy?
The only man who knows where they are is the station manager, Norm. And out here, the closest thing to SatNav is a good old nightmare.
Go down to the Quintana ground. Yeah. Go through a wide gate on the right, past the yard, and you go over 3K, and you go to turn your right a bit. Yeah. You go about 30K, and you go over one bridge. Yeah. Keep going, you come to the trucking yard. Yeah. The road will go around and down, just watch that, and keep going. Oh, right, yep. No worries at all. With one more gate, just leave, mate. Right. And then it's about another 12K from there. You'll see Kimmy's tractor. Oh, right, no worries. Just follow his tractor on the right.
As clear as mud.
We'll work around late. And only follow the wheel tracks and hope for the best.
Steve Graham has made it through a run-in with supply.
I don't know.
But after being hammered by millions of corrugations, his truck isn't so fortunate. Several of his 62 tyres are leaking and need to be pumped up. And he's got another problem. Strong winds combined with 40 tonnes of high-sided freight means Steve's been burning more diesel than usual.
I'm concerned about the fuel, which is a bloody nuisance because if I can't get to Curtin Springs, I have to break this road train up and go into Yalara and fuel up. There's not much bloody fuel in there. It's only just enough to get me to 35K from good.
To make matters worse, his tyres aren't inflating. There's something wrong with the truck's air pressure system. The fault's in a valve that controls the cab suspension. After 3 hard days, it's the last straw.
I'm pissed off because I had to grovel under there twice in the dark last night to try and pumping my guys up the light because the ride height valve's not working properly and it's dumping all the air and it's taking me a long time to pump up my tyres because the air's going out of that new valve and I can't reach under here and adjust the bloody thing. As I should be able to shift that ride and make the fucking cab go up at ride level and shut the air off, but it's not. It's dumping out the atmosphere underneath the truck instead of going into my tyres. And it's annoying me. Once again, it's time bleeding away from me. I should be 40 kilometres down the road now and fueled up, and I'm wasting time here doing this.
The fault's affecting nearly every
Air brakes, air gear shift, air assisted. Lots of things. Nothing happens. Without air, we don't move.
Wait, you got approved? I've been trying forever. Every time I try something, I get rejected. Bad credit just follows you everywhere. Then I found Kobo. $10 a month, no credit check, no interest, it just builds your credit. It reports to all 4 bureaus, and my score actually went up. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Go to KoboCredit.com and start building your credit today.
Speed, you grabbed your card again, right?
Don't worry about it, chill. I can like it from my phone, it's fine.
Alright, it's showtime. Yeah. What is it, fire? Well, here's the scene. We're gonna be showing the world some of the places we get to visit. You know what I'm saying?
Harlem Globetrotters, Secrets of the City, now streaming on Aspire TV Plus. And it's about as far off the beaten track as you can go.
Pretty good. Pretty good. One problem though, it's very messy.
He's heading into unknown territory.
I've been in there before, so it's a bit of a feel of way. Here we go. Could be good. Could be doing an hour and a half, or it could be
And out here, the roads can turn ugly.
These are the kind of roads that are pretty quick from the station track. Just be where there could be a sharp gutter up the road you don't know about.
Corey's reached the fork in the road he needs to take. From now on, he's relying on his memory of the station manager's mud map.
You know, just turn right at that road with that fork off to the right there. You can't go wrong. That's quite a fair bit to go wrong.
But you know what? He got more stuff behind. He's remembering now.
Ahead is a barren landscape as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, very much.
No lands, no signs, nothing. All Corey has is excavated. Temperatures are into the high 30s. It's a dangerous place to get lost.
24,000 square kilometres. Big area.
Corey's unsure where he is. If he can't find the dam builder soon, their whole operation will shut down. His name and business are on the line. Nothing's telling. His hopes rest on a satellite phone. In Perth, Dion Fisher's supersized convoy is pushing hard to get out of the city before sunset. It's vital he makes up lost time. Once it goes dark, he'll be forced to pull over for the night.
It's always slow and tedious out here. Very hard on the gear.
Guiding Dion through the city is his team of pilots. He's completely reliant on them.
All we see is down Reggie's. Lots of blind spots. We got a lot of fake teams working with. We don't get a condition briefly on the road. There's every chance we can take our pole down.
Dion's made it onto the busy highway, but every few kilometres, the convoy has to stop to a traffic light. as he can only travel during daylight. At this pace, Dion's in real danger of missing tonight's stopping point. And there's another hazard up ahead, a series of low bridges.
Bridges are always a pressure point. Measure,
Dion should be able to clear them. But one tiny mistake and his career and millions of dollars.
Remember, I was going to do stay here enough and that nothing will pass.
The last is the longest of them.
take it nice and easy. Hopefully nothing goes bang. If you were to hit bridge with a large machine, something so 6 meters or something, you'd be fairly glitched down.
Having navigated the bridges, Dion has a clear run to his stopping point. Second driver Dave has an emergency. One of his brakes is jammed. It's close to catching fire. Somewhere in the South Australian outback, Corey Chapman's having no luck with a temperamental satellite phone. He needs help to find a team of dam builders. Out here, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Hang on, boss. Might just keep sneaking along.
It's good news. He's right where he should be and can get back on the road. Or what's left of it.
That's where the break is.
Quavo. Okay, Quavo's on. I'll watch Quavo later.
At last, the dam builders camp comes into view. The mudmat was right all along.
Turn on that fork, around that dam, and take over it. Take over it, and you'll come across it, and he's pretty much
The diggers have been out here for weeks, working in one of the toughest environments on earth. For boss Tim, it's a relief to see Corey. He's made it just in time. Fuel is the lifeblood of the camp, powering everything from machinery and generators to fridges and phones. The nearest depot is 800 kilometers away. Without fuel trucks, the whole operation would grind to a halt.
too easy. We're done.
It's been another grueling run, but after 1,500
Barnes and Noble, Battle Creek, Michigan. Barnes and Noble, Battle Creek, Michigan.
Journey through some of the toughest terrain in the country, to the edge of the map and beyond. But for Corey Chapman and those whose lives depend on him, what matters is the job's done and the tanks are full.
Okay. Okay. They'll be due tomorrow. Barnes and Noble will be due tomorrow.
Dion Fisher
Barnes and Noble
has got a serious problem with tanks.
Barnes and Noble.
His second driver,
We know the feeling. You hold a profound appreciation for precision. It's why USA gets the details right. Like helping members who switch save an average of $840 a year on their auto insurance. You can even share your membership with your kids. Because what won't you do for them? USA, taking care of our own. Nothing's not who you think he is. I've heard enough. I love him to navigate the land.
has jammed the brake. It's dangerously overheating.
I know that through October.
To cool down before we can try and repair it. If they can't fix the fault, his journey could be over right here.
At least the one with night, doesn't it?
All Dion can do is wait. And wait as more precious minutes tick off. At last, in the rearview mirror, there's good news. Dave's back on the road. But the delay has given Dion another headache. He's almost out of daylight. His permit states he must be off the road by nightfall. There's no way he'll be able to reach his planned stop. He needs to find somewhere soon that's big enough to accommodate the two massive trucks. And the road's piling on pressure.
One that was to the right, go on, narrow, big rocks.
See here. Book 6 and up. Okay, book here. I got books 1. Okay, so 7 and up. Okay, book 7 and up. Now we read the whole series over again.
He needs fuel funds. And his engine is starting to protest. Finally, he's made it. But this stop is going to be painful.
$2.11 a litre. Putting fuel into that price, when that happens, that does hurt you. 470 litres, $1,000. I'm going to pay for it, shed it to you. Buy something bad for me like chips or something.
It's time for Steve to pull over for the night and get some much needed rest. In the morning, he'll start the second leg of his journey to one of the most isolated communities in the world. But before he hits the city, Steve wants to check his truck. If he's to carry on, he must be sure it's good to go. The faulty valve is still leaking, but under the hood, there's even more. It's his air compressor. Its paintwork is cracked and the washer's sealing it is out of shape.
I don't know why these are leaking. I might have to make a phone call on this. I have heard the thing rap, you know, I thought it was a ride like that. I might actually have a compressor playing up there.
His $90,000 engine is barely a few weeks old. Repairs won't be cheap.
Those compressors are about $6,000 each.
And the replacement parts are over 2,500 kilometres away. The fate of Steve's journey and his truck hang on an SOS to his mechanic.
I'm in Alice Springs. I've got the bar up here.
He's a phone call away from make or break. Next time on Outback Truckers, Dion Fisher is desperate to get back on schedule, but he's got big troubles from breakdowns, wildlife, and the cops.
Every truck drives in Australia tries to keep away from them.
Steve Graham is locked in a battle with the weather, the road,
He's smashing crap out of the gear.
and his patience.
Oh, why won't he listen?
Livestock trucker Joey Greenwich is carrying 750 unruly passengers. Getting them safely to their destination will test his skills. And his truck
That's very worried.
to the limit.
Where is she?
Okay, we're done with that. We're gonna watch something else. We're gonna go to YouTube since we're not gonna watch episode. Because I might be doing something in a little bit, so we're gonna watch episode 2. Get dressed out in case you decide to go out today. I don't know what we're doing yet. I mean,
Chipotle heat balanced with the perfect touch of sweet. Chipotle honey chicken is back, just in time for summer.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis? With fewer symptoms from moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, where would you go? Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. With Tremfya, clear skin is possible. And for adults with active psoriatic arthritis, Tremfya goes beyond the skin. Less joint pain, stiffness, and swelling is possible. And Tremfya is the first and only treatment of its kind proven to help stop further joint damage. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections, a lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
Welcome back to my series on the amazing tech from Texas, where I'm attempting to showcase all of the companies that made significant impacts to the world of technology. In the last episode, I visited a couple of places in the Dallas area, including 3D Realms and Dallas Semiconductor. And don't worry, I'm not even close to being done with the Dallas area, but for this episode, I'm heading down to Houston to show you a few things there, which is about a 4-hour drive. But we're going to make a few stops along the way. The first stop is just an hour south of the Dallas Metroplex, in a little city called Corsicana. Okay, so we're taking just a little bit of a detour. Really, it's not even a detour. It's like literally like right on the path of the direction that we're going. I would say it's midway through the journey, but it's really not. It's only about 2/3 of the journey, but big pun there, because the name of the company that we're going to go see is called Midway, which you've probably heard of because they made a lot of famous games. And so, we're gonna be there here in just a moment. Of course, Midway goes all the way back to when they manufactured arcade games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders, but the actual development for those games was done back in Japan. However, eventually they started developing their own arcade and home video games, but before we get to that, there was this old company called Trade West here in Corsicana, and they were known for famous NES games like Battletoads or Double Dragon. Actually, the list goes on. It's quite a long list, but they were eventually bought up by Midway and went on to work on such games as Mortal Kombat or Doom 64. The office here in Corsicana was responsible for testing, marketing, sales, and distribution. And the first location I'm going to show you was located at 1800 South Highway 75, which is now abandoned and the building is for sale. All right, so we're standing in front of the old Midway building, and I've got a former employee here with me. Unfortunately, there's this kind of creep here that ran us off the property, wouldn't let us film directly in front of the building. So we're standing out here on the side of the highway filming. So lovely, but anyway. So tell us your name, tell us what you did, tell us when you worked here.
Well, my name is Guy Chapman. I worked here in the Texas office from 1995 to 1999. I started initially as a game counselor and a gameplay tester, and eventually worked my way up to a marketing coordinator here.
What were some of the games that were made here or developed here?
Well, the biggest.
Hey guys, just doing some stuff. Just stuff around. Oh crap! I smeared it.
Midway's first home published title was Mortal Kombat 3. Up until that point, Acclaim had done the other titles, but Midway did Mortal Kombat 3, and they did the preceding series up until Warner Brothers bought them. But they also did Doom 64, Arcade's Greatest Hits, which were like retro arcade compilations.
Oh, I have Doom 64.
Like Fender, Joust, Gauntlet, Marvel Madness, titles like that. San Francisco Rush, NFL Blitz, all that was made here.
Okay, but it was actually called
8-bit.
Trade West.
8-bit guy.
It was originally called Trade West. Trade West started in '85, but in '94, WMS Industries, which is Midway, they decided they wanted to get into home publishing themselves, and they bought out Trade West and in turn started publishing their own games. But Trade West was responsible for NES titles like Double Dragon, Battletoads, things like that.
Now, were those developed here, or there was another location you mentioned down the road somewhere?
There's another location down the road. That is the original Trade West building. All the games weren't designed here. what these offices were primarily responsible for was customer support, like in my case, marketing, sales. Byron Cook, who was the CEO of Midway, did all the main operations, was here. All the main operations of Trade West, then later Midway, was all those decisions were made here.
So we drove across town, which doesn't take very long for a small town like Corsicana, and we had a look at the later location, which was located at 800 North Main Street in a small strip mall. Currently, the section that was occupied by Midway now exists as a probation office of some kind.
So it looks like this is a probation office now.
Yeah, it's an adult probation. Well, that's certainly not where I expected this building to be, but you know, considering all the crazy stuff that we made here, I mean, all those various Mortal Kombat games. But yeah, they finally combined all the buildings together, the sales and the marketing and my group. You know, we still did testing and phone support here. Actually, that door right there is where I'd go in every morning with my group.
Okay.
And we go down the long hallway to the left. Right there was the break room.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there was no manufacturing happened in this building either, right? It was just like development and like I guess tech support, that type of.
Yeah, it was the executive decisions. It was sales, marketing, tech support, testing. That was done here. That marketing and manufacturing was done elsewhere. But it was funny though. I mean, a lot of people never knew what we did here, and even now, it's like I'll talk about Midway to them. It's like there's a video game company here. Mortal Kombat was made here. And I was like, yeah, it's made for several years actually. So I've been trying to do things to raise awareness and say, hey, we had something really cool here for a while.
Now, was there like any kind of after the building? Of course, they didn't want anybody to know they were there. Was there anything on this building that suggested it was? Video games were made here?
Oh no, we were loud and proud. We had the big red Midway bug and the big black lettering on the front.
Where would that have been?
It was right on the front, kind of where you noticed that one spot where the old logo was.
Okay.
That was just straight up front. But again, I mean, people didn't know what a Mortal Kombat was or even what a Midway was, but yeah, it was.
So yeah, I'm just kind of tired now.
One of the hottest games in the 90s here.
And did you ever have any fans come by the building?
We did actually. Not as many as you think. I don't think a lot of people come out to Corsicana that often. I mean, we're kind of a side detour for sure. We had a couple people come by. We show them around the office and give them like a little couple marketing tchotchkes, things like that, maybe some press releases, or we always had like some little toy, like we have Gauntlet computer figurines or posters, and we give them something and they go on their way, and it was fun. So these are a couple of the Trade West games. This is where Corsicana got its first video game landed.
I played Battletoads on
Battletoads was one of the biggest.
Where we played.
Double Dragon, of course, was their biggest. Other games like Solar Jetman, Taboo the Sixth Sense, which is a weird game, all about 8-bit tarot cards. Who knew? Mortal Kombat 3, this was the first game that I ever worked on. This was the original run copy back from '95. And shortly after that, we did a couple games. Doom 64, that was a Midway original. That was not done by id. San Francisco Rush 2, or just Rush 2 because it was all over the world. This was an old press kit from Williams. A little bit more authenticity. That was the building we were at that we got chased off from. So, kind of an interesting piece, that whole super flashy 90s style, and just basically had pictures of like Doom and Mortal Kombat 3. Those were the first two big Super Nintendo games over the years, and these were all done in Corsicana.
Ooh, Area 51.
Who played Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 3. She's actually been a longtime friend of mine.
Okay, well, I appreciate you showing me the buildings. It's really unfortunate about the last building that the guy wouldn't let us film there. I don't know why it was a big empty parking lot and the building had for sale signs all over it. It seemed crazy that they ran us off, but
it was his building and it was dear to him, so
Yeah. So I left Corsicana and headed back out on the long road to Houston. But I do like to break up long road trips into smaller sections for my own sanity, and I'm going to stop next in Madisonville. That's because I got dozens of emails from people telling me that if I'm showing a Texas road trip, that I definitely need to show Buc-ee's. Well, so here it is. There are 35 of these scattered around Texas, located on long stretches of highways. They are
There's also one in Ohio.
Really big gas stations. Unfortunately, My car is electric, and Buc-ee's does not yet offer chargers, although they have publicly said they plan to add those soon. Besides gas, they have almost every food item imaginable inside, and they're also known for their fancy restrooms, which I can't really show for obvious reasons, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about something else. You can see the Buc-ee Beaver statue is wearing a mask. Many people complained in the last video that I was out in the middle of a pandemic. So I just wanted you to know that me and anyone I was with were wearing masks when not on camera and following every safety precaution. In fact, I spent the vast majority of this trip in my car or outside in the open. So having said that, it was time to head back on the road, this time just for 20 minutes until I arrived in Huntsville. So there were actually a couple of reasons I wanted to stop in Huntsville, and the first reason was to use the Tesla Supercharger here since I was not able to refuel at Buc-ee's. This also gives me a perfect opportunity to show people something I've tried to explain time and again. As you can see, I had 140 miles of range left, which is probably enough to make it all the way to my hotel in Houston. You can see it was saying 45 minutes for a full charge, but let's see how that really works out. I took this opportunity to watch the 180 miles worth of bugs off my windshield, and by the time I did that and ate the snack I bought at Buc-ee's, 10 minutes had passed. After which you can see we were up to 212 miles, which is way more than I really needed to make it to my hotel. And the last thing
No offense, I would not want a Tesla. I mean, I really maybe, but Tesla, no.
More than I have time to explain here. The statue is visible from miles away as you approach Huntsville on the freeway, but if you want to have a closer look, you can drive around behind and park at the visitor center, and then you can walk down a little trail. On your way, you'll pass a giant head of Sam Houston, and we never quite figured out why there's just a head here. I don't know if it's like a spare head or a practice run or what, but for some reason, standing next to this, it reminds me of the face of Bo from Doctor Who. Anyway, if you keep walking the trail, eventually you come to the back of the statue, and just to give you an idea of how big this thing is, take a look.
Sure.
Anyway, time to get back on the road for the final leg of this journey to Houston. Much like Dallas, Houston is also very big. It also has multiple downtown areas, including the main city center here, Medical City, which is here, and then Uptown over here. Now, granted, these are all closer together than in the Dallas area, but let's have a look at some of it. This is downtown Houston. The entire Houston metro area is home to some 7 million people, similar in size to the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. This is a view of Uptown, sometimes called the Galleria by locals. It has quite an impressive skyline all of its own. And this area here is called Medical City. You can see downtown off in the distance. This is basically an entire city of hospitals and medical services. People come from all over the world to receive medical treatment here. Some of the places we'll be exploring is the DeLorean Motor Company in the city of Humboldt. And then we're going to find the original compact factory. And then we're going to have a look at the NASA Space Center down near Webster. And when I say we, that's because I'm going to be meeting up with a special guest for this trip. I'm meeting up with Johnny Himberger, who runs a local radio show called Deep Therapy. I participated in his show on several occasions, and we've agreed to meet at the top of the parking garage for iHeartRadio. He's also brought a special car that we're going to cruise around in for the rest of the trip.
All right, so this is what you're going to chauffeur me around in town. What year is it, first of all? 1983. Hey, David. Except I don't know how that car from the future got here.
Yeah, I took off the flux capacitor a long time ago because it guzzled too much plutonium.
Well, they need to get the Mr. What is it?
Mr. Fusion.
Mr. Fusion on it.
Put all the friggin' soda cans and banana peels in it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Doc Brown was able to make Mr. Fusion, the amount of energy that must produce, and yet he couldn't have it drive the wheels.
Right.
Still had no gasoline.
See, if you want to play the loophole game with Back to the Future, we could be here all day discussing it.
Johnny took me into the iHeartRadio building for a brief tour of where we work.
This is my station. This is the station that I am on at 950 KBRC.
And so this is where Deep Therapy Radio is produced. After that, it was time to hop into the DeLorean and start our trip around town.
All right. Cool.
I've been in the DeLorean, they're tight.
That was absolutely perfect. The gullwing doors, but the Model X has gullwing doors.
Yeah,
but they're all automatic.
Yeah.
Let's put the key here. It's not blinking.
I was gonna be on YouTube, but I mean, you're already on YouTube, yeah. But you know, there's a few things I like to try doing for the channel, making some more videos for you guys. But I'm doing pretty good, I think. I mean, we make pretty good videos on the channel. We got now subscribers, so trying to get to our goal of 5. I think today's been pretty good. It's been a good Saturday. Not much else is happening. Yep. I need to put this right here so I don't forget it if I do go out.
Introducing the Fan Favorites menu, available at taco.net. Grab your faves before they're gone.
On your next trip, what will you bring home? How about your new favorite smell? A taste for the unknown. A little mystery. A new cook job. Or a new family recipe.
So I don't know what we're doing yet.
What will you bring home?
I'm going to do that real quick so I don't have to worry about it.
So Jonathan and I set off on our 2-day-long mission to explore some tech history in Houston.
Pretty well.
Yeah, so I figure traffic, famous Houston traffic.
We're going nowhere fast right now.
So we might as well talk about the car a little bit. I bought this car when I was 17 years old in the year 2000, so July 2000. I bought it for less than what a used Honda Civic cost, which surprised a lot of people. Back then, early at that era, 2000s, internet wasn't like it was today. Nobody cared about the DeLorean outside of Back to the Future. Car at that time. So yeah, picked it up, bought it real cheap. They thought it didn't run. I changed a 50-cent engine control fuse, charged the battery, drove it away. I didn't rip them off or anything. It was a classic car dealership. They just said part of the price is you'll diagnose whatever is going on with it, and I did, and I drove it home. Delivered pizza with it for 2 years.
It doesn't seem like a pizza delivery vehicle.
No. But it is a testament, and I'm kind of trying to knock on wood. Actually, the back parts of the shelf is made out of wood, like a lot of old cars.
I've actually never ridden a DeLorean before. I've sat in one back in, I think you might have seen the video I did on it at the Florida, the Maker Faire thing. They had one that was all decked out like the Back to the Future car.
Right.
You know, let me sit in it, but I've never actually ridden one before.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that I don't have any Freon in the AC.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things is it does. I haven't converted it to R134, so it's still on old Freon. There is some stuff you can get called Red Tech that fills in the gap. But anyways, doesn't matter because there's one in it right now, obviously.
Yeah, and this Texas heat is starting to I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
Yeah. A stainless steel convection oven.
Yeah. But it'd probably be a lot better if we get moving on the highway and we don't get a little bit of air. But you told me earlier that you've never ridden an electric car before.
I haven't. I have not. I've never driven one. I've never even sat inside of one when it was off. I've never been in an electric car. I've been in hybrids, but I've never been in a Tesla.
I've been in a Prius.
Or even a plug-in hybrid. I've never been in a Bolt.
I've been in a Prius. First took a Prius the direction we had you 113. Well, you lived 114, I think. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about where we are going.
All right. Funny you should ask. We're on the way to the DeLorean Motor Company in Humble, Texas. It is the world headquarters for DeLorean parts and restoration. and
That's something got to be
sales.
clarified there. Humble, Texas. Now, a lot of people are going to look at the map, and it starts with H.
Yep.
So they're going to think it's
Humble.
Texas.
That's how it's supposed to be pronounced in English, but it's one of those colloquialisms. It's easy to tell if you're not, from out of town. Are we going to Humble? No, we're going to Humble. Still drives my wife from Virginia crazy.
Everything seemed to be going along really well, but then disaster struck. The DeLorean started to sound like a tea kettle and steam started pouring out of the rear. The engine had overheated. We assumed it was from being stuck in a traffic jam in the hot Texas sun. After letting it cool down, we managed to make it to a gas station where Johnny bought some coolant. It seemed to be very low, which was concerning. After starting up the car again, we noticed the problem. A rubber coolant hose had burst and coolant was just spewing out.
Oh, no.
We had to use a different car for the rest of the trip. So in a different car now, we're entering this somewhat rural neighborhood where DeLorean is located, and here it is. The building is...
Okay, so we have arrived at the DeLorean Motor Company. Unfortunately, we didn't make it in the actual DeLorean, but we did make it here. I would mention that we're not allowed to go inside because of the whole virus situation we got right now, but that's fine. I just want to give a big thanks out to Carfaction. They did allow us to use some of the footage so that we could show you what it does look like on the inside. So, what do they do here?
This is the world's headquarters for restoring and servicing DeLorean motor cars, and there's more than you might think. They produced about 9,000 of them, and this is the world headquarters. So right here in Humble, Texas, just outside of Houston, they have a few other satellite facilities, one in Los Angeles, up in the Midwest, East Coast, and then a couple in Europe, and this is where they service all the DeLoreans. This is the world headquarters for right here. So Back to the Future, all the history of the DeLorean Motor Company going defunct, and it all ends up right here with the DeLorean Motor Company in Humble, Texas. Pretty cool.
They still make new ones here?
Yes and no. They do make new ones out of new old stock parts. So they basically have an inventory. They have enough. When DeLorean went into receivership, they still had enough parts left over to build something on the order of over 10,000 new cars. They never got to that. They hit 9,000, and the rest was history. But all the remaining parts most of them are here. It's kind of a long story, but all the parts wound up here at DeLorean Motor Company in the various satellite facilities. So you can still buy new DeLoreans using new old stock, zero mile motors. But there are some improvements to the parts, like the coolant system. So there are updated parts in that category. You can get new exhaust and new suspension and bring it up to more power, more speed, and more reliability, which is something I should probably think about in the near future. But it's all based here at DeLorean Motor Company in Humble, Texas.
All right, so we had a look at DeLorean. Not much we can do here. So now I think we're going to go try to hunt down the original Compact Factory. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
Let's go see if we can find it. Cool.
Compaq, being one of the largest computer manufacturers in the world, was based right here in Houston. And I've had numerous Compaqs over the years, my favorite being the 46 laptop, but my absolute favorite is my original.
Ooh, I really want a laptop to type up stuff, no problem.
The first computer they ever built and the first successful IBM clone in the market. Finding their most recent facilities is pretty easy. Everybody knows where that is, but it was a huge challenge to find the original location. I got most of my clues by watching this documentary on YouTube called The Compaq Story. It's an old video that's been captured from VHS tape, and it's a pretty cool story to watch if you can tolerate the poor audio and video quality. It features several interviews from Jim Harris, Bill Murto, and Rod Canyon, the original founders of the company. But I'll show you some of the clues we're given. In this section, Murto talks about sketching out the first design of the House of Pies, and a photo is shown the location.
And then we started to discuss, how we might build a computer. We actually started to draw this up on the back of the placemat.
So Johnny and I set out to see if we could find it, and actually it wasn't that hard because the location still exists today.
Wow.
It's called the House of Pies. I didn't expect it to be open under the current situation, but I walked up to the door and saw that it was in fact open at 25% occupancy. So Johnny and I decided to go in and have some pie.
Okay, so we actually decided to come into House of Pies. I don't know if we're at the exact same table where Bill Murto and Rod Canyon scribbled out the first Compaq design or not, but somewhere. But these pies sure are big.
The House of Pie? How about the House of Pound? How about the House of Pound Pie?
I didn't need to get an extra for my wife. I could have just saved this.
Pound Pie.
And what do you think this is? What do you got? 1,000 calories? 1,500? Probably 2,000 right here. It's brain food. That's where you conceive of.
Well, this is what Compaq computers are conceived of. Yep.
A pie is.
The next clue was when they talked about their first office.
in a bank building on Jones Road. Yeah, like.
So we headed out to Jones Road and started looking for a building that looks like that. Fortunately, it was a distinctive looking building and we found it right away. It's located at 12339 Jones Road, only now it's a Wells Fargo building. So this was the office where the Compaq Portable One was designed for nearly a year before they were ready to manufacture it. At this time, the company was actually called Gateway Technology, but would later change the name to Compaq. And now it was time for the next clue.
The next thing we made was when we moved over to Perry Road. So again, just the most fantastic, most spacious offices that you can imagine. We had cows in the back, the donkey, things like that.
So we headed out to Perry Road, and admittedly this was more of a challenge to find, but we eventually identified the location at 12330 Perry Road. The front two buildings look almost exactly the same, but everything else has changed.
All right, and so here we are. I'm walking in front of one of the original offices for the Compaq factory. Now, there's these two buildings here, which I presume they use for offices, and then there's the actual factory. So as you can see, it doesn't look much like a factory anymore. They've converted it into a church. It's now a crossover Bible fellowship, but I think maybe we could call it the Church of Compaq.
Church of shits and giggles.
These two square buildings were both the original
I need to get shit.
offices. The one on the right is now a daycare center.
Thompson.
These front offices is most likely where this photo was taken of the original three guys and the Compaq Portable One. These photos here would have been taken in the larger building in the back. I made many attempts to contact both the church and the daycare center weeks prior to my trip, but neither one would return my calls or emails. It's possible they're just shut down due to the current situation with the virus, or maybe they just aren't interested in computer history. Who knows? Of course, there have been quite a few changes to the landscape of this area, so let's talk about a few of them.
Okay, so I've been trying to figure out where the Compaq sign is that I see in the old photo that used to be like right here, like on a brick stand. And it took me a little while to figure out because it doesn't even look like there'd be room for such a thing here. And what I eventually figured out is that that's used to be a 2-lane road with no median there. And as they've expanded the road out, they've encroached into the original area. So this grassy area here used to extend much further out, and that's where the sign was.
Let's take a look from some of the views from Google Earth. This is what the property looks like today. And I'm going to go back to 2002 in a moment. And what I want you to notice is that this body of water was not there before. This road was much more narrow, and these houses were not yet built. So let's have a look. So yeah, 18 years ago, things look quite different. But keep in mind that Compaq was still long gone from this building even in 2002. So we're going to go back again to 1989, and almost everything you see here will be gone except for the 3 Compaq buildings. But I want you to pay special attention to this section of the building. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, that part of the building was added on well after Compaq moved out of the facility. In fact, it's very likely they were already gone by the time this photo was taken in 1989. But this definitely fits with the description in the video that they were surrounded by cow pastures. Oh, and you can just barely make out the brick sign here in front. If only I had taken my Compaq Portable One with me on the trip, it could have revisited its own birthplace.
At Sargento, we believe your brakes deserve balanced brakes. Taste over 70 years of family commitment to high-quality cheese and other delicious ingredients in every bite. You have our word on it, you have our name on it. Sargento, a promise you can taste.
Don't want to smell like you're double shipped? Use new Secret Clinical for 0% odor fails.
Picking these out from a whole case of beautiful diamonds.
Remove that thing if your head get clear.
Big deal.
Who's next on my list?
$199 natural or lab-grown diamond and gold jewelry and watches. Yes, JCPenney.
Shopping for tires used to really ruffle my feathers. That was before I went to TireRack.com. I chose a mobile installer. They brought the tires to my neck of the woods and put them on, right here in my driveway.
You're all done.
TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Across Southwest Michigan, more people are finding compassionate care close to home.
It's about relationship. And that's what I found that Beacon Cancer Care was a relationship.
For Paula, it wasn't just about treating cancer. It was knowing someone was with her every step of the way.
I felt so wrapped in compassion throughout the whole
I'll never really
process.
Because helping people through life's hardest moments is why we're here. Beacon, shining a light on a healthier you.
One quick little diversion. We wanted to drive by Howard Hughes' home, which I think is now a museum. It's this red brick house here. There's actually a small sign out in front that says this is the house of Howard Hughes, but You can't see it because of these cars that are parked in front. Maybe someday I'll explore this in more detail. So now we're off to NASA to have a look at the Space Center there. NASA has always been based out of Houston, Texas, and this is where the astronauts lived and worked and where technology was developed, and of course where Mission Control is located. Of course, it's still located here today, and the facility is open to the public for tours. There are a lot of things you can see here. I've actually been here several times, but never thought to take a picture of myself. But a good friend of the channel, Paragraphic, did take some photos, and one thing you may notice is there are two Mission Control rooms, the new one and the old one that you can see here. There he is, controls like he knows what he's doing. I'd probably be more interested in seeing the old one myself. So here we are at the NASA Johnson Space Center. Of course, this is the official premises where actual work happens, the public portion of the planes. And this is where you'd want to be anyways. They have all the cool things to look at, including a full-size space shuttle on top of a special 747 that was used to carry it between launch and landing locations. This building here actually contains a full Saturn V rocket, just like was used to launch astronauts to the moon. It used to be out in the open like this. And I actually took this photo myself many years ago. Now it's inside this building to protect it from the elements. They also have a mock-up of the International Space Station you can look at, as well as the original capsules on display from Mercury and Apollo missions. But this is all closed right now due to the virus. We were actually told we could get a private tour for the channel, but we have to come back later after the pandemic was over. So if that's something you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll consider returning here later. But for the moment, let me show you some other fun things that aren't necessary at the Space Center. For example, there's this big double right near the entrance that has a double roof and a space-themed interior. Okay, so we're leaving the NASA Center now, and Chuck thought it might be interesting to go by and look at, see where some of the astronauts live, because they actually lived just right down the road from here.
Yeah. 3.2 miles according to the Tesla navigation system. So we were talking about the short commute to work until you have to go to the moon, then it gets a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically speaking, Neil Armstrong, one of his workplaces was on the surface of the moon, so he had to commute a long way to get there.
But that's a pretty cool commute. I wouldn't mind taking that commute one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all the astronauts, Gemini, Apollo, all those missions from the 60s and onward, they lived nearby. This is just a normal town. It's in a town called Webster, and we're going to a neighborhood called El Lago, and some people call it Moonwalkers Village or whatever, because we're only going to two houses, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, because it would literally take hours, if not all day, to visit every single astronaut's house from the time period. They all lived in this neighborhood, so it should be pretty fascinating, I think.
Since your baby had some problems yesterday with those keys,
yeah,
we're driving the Tesla today.
Yeah.
So how do you compare them?
Well,